You know how some childhood memories are just stuck in your head, like these perfect little snapshots? Well, what if I told you that my most magical, my most cherished Christmas memory was hiding a secret so dark it would change everything?
And that right there, that's where my whole world kind of splits in two. It's a story of how one single moment in my life held two completely opposite realities, separated by a decade of, well, a beautifully constructed lie. And it all started with pure, simple magic.
So let's go back. Picture this, our apartment on 112th Street. It's Christmas Eve, 1989. I'm only 4 years old, and all of New York City feels like it's humming, you know? Just buzzing with that electric holiday energy.
I was supposed to be fast asleep, of course, but you know that feeling, right? When you're a little kid and it's Christmas Eve, there's just no way you're sleeping. My heart was just hammering in my chest, so I crept out of bed, tiptoed over to the window, and pulled back the curtain, just hoping I'd catch a glimpse of him.
And then it happened. I saw him, right there, on our fire escape. It was Santa Claus. I mean, it had to be. His suit was this brilliant, impossible red. He looked right at me. He smiled. And then he put a finger to his lips. Shh. It was our secret. I'm telling you, it was the most amazing moment of my entire 4-year-old life.
My brain was just exploding with excitement. I mean, I had to tell someone, right? But yeah, the reaction I got was not what I was expecting at all. I remember just bursting into my parents' room, whispering as loud as a 4-year-old can whisper, "I saw him! I saw Santa!" But they didn't get excited. They looked tired. Actually, they looked scared. They shushed me so fast. My mom just said, "It was a dream, honey. Go back to bed." I knew it wasn't a dream, but, you know, when you're 4, you do what you're told.
And that wasn't the only weird thing that night. As I was lying in bed trying to go back to sleep, I saw these flashing lights, red and blue, just dancing across the walls of my room. I had no clue what they were, but that image, it just stuck with me.
And for a whole decade, that's what the story was. A magical, if maybe a little weird, Christmas memory. The time I saw Santa, but my parents said it was just a dream. And then, one night, one single conversation blew it all to pieces.
Okay, so fast forward 10 years. It's 1999 now. I'm 14, and let's just say the world is a lot more complicated than it was when I was 4.
My dad and I were up late, just talking. He'd even poured me this tiny little glass of wine, which felt like a huge deal. And I don't know why, but I brought up the old Santa on the fire escape story. I was laughing about it, and that's when I saw it. The smile just vanished from his face. He got real serious and looked at me and said, "Son, I think you're old enough now. You're old enough to know what you really saw that night."
And right there, that's the moment my entire childhood got rewritten, in an instant.
My dad took this deep breath. He told me the man I saw, he wasn't Santa. He was our neighbor from 2 floors up, a pimp. And that night, he had just murdered a woman in his apartment. That brilliant red suit that I remembered so vividly, it wasn't a suit.
But it gets worse, way worse. My dad told me what the police found out later. The victim, she hadn't just been killed, she'd been stabbed 112 times.
And just like that, my brain it rebooted the whole memory. Everything twisted. The man on the fire escape wasn't waving some festive hello. He was escaping a murder scene. He saw me, a 4-year-old kid in the window, the only witness. And that shh, it wasn't a fun little secret, it was a threat. He was silencing me.
So how is that even possible? How can a single memory hold two truths that are so completely opposite? The magic and the horror just existing in the exact same moment.
Well, the answer was my parents. They saw those flashing lights, they heard the sirens, they knew something truly awful had happened right there in our building. So when their 4-year-old son comes running in, talking about a man in red on the fire escape, they put the horrific pieces together. And in that moment, they made a choice. They chose to protect me. They told a simple lie to build a shield around my innocence, to keep me from a darkness that I was way, way too young to ever understand.
And that's the thing that gets me, even now. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? About the stories we all carry around. Those perfect, simple memories from our childhood. How many of them are actually just beautiful lies, told out of love? Little acts of kindness designed to keep the monsters at bay. Just for a little while, until we were strong enough to face them ourselves.